I feel absolutely incredible. The TRT, the Tren, the Anavar I've been taking are all kicking in, and I'm finally getting the gains I deserve. Obviously, I'm not being serious. If I was taking drugs, I wouldn't tell you. Freaking lie about it. But nah, I apologize. I'm just joshing around because I truly do feel incredible. I've just done a session of breath work, and my goodness, this stuff feels very powerful. I'm present in the moment, and I'm ready to deliver an absolutely splendid commentary on my training. So this is the first session of the week that I've filmed absolutely every set without skipping anything, because it's my last upper body session of the week and I wanted to actually deliver a performance. So I start the workout with some incline dumbbell press, which I have already done earlier in the week, but on that session it was the third exercise of the day and my second press. However, this time I'm doing it while I'm fresh, meaning I can go heavier with slightly lower reps. And during the warm-up, my shoulders were feeling a bit funky, so I got onto the bar and I did a little dead hang to decompress everything and loosen up my shoulders. And obviously this footage is sped up because how boring would it be to just watch me freaking hang on a bar? But yeah, the warm-up is complete, my shoulders feel fresh, and here I have my first working set of the day, which is 40 kilos. And as you can see, I am doing it with a neutral grip so that I can get a really deep stretch on my pecs and go down a lot further so that the bulky dumbbells aren't stopped by my chest. And this is actually a deeper range of motion than I would get on a bench press with a barbell. So that's why I love it so much. So that was 5 reps, and here at the bottom, I'm holding the stretch just for a little bit longer. And obviously, you know me by now, I have to do a superset, otherwise I have failed. So I jump on the rings, I put on 10 kilos that I strap to my waist, and I crank out some reps. I believe I got 8 reps on this set, and the reason I love the rings so much is because they move very freely and allow me to manipulate my elbows and my wrists to get the ultimate lat stretch and the lat squeeze, which I just absolutely love. And without any further ado, it's time for another set of the incline dumbbells. And again, I get the same weight for the same amount of reps. However, this time I'm actually staying tight. My core is contracted, my legs are firmer planted into the ground, meaning that if I used this form for my first set, I would have probably got 6 or 7 reps. And it's always the case for some reason with me. I always tighten up my form on the second set, but not on the first set, which is really annoying, and it's something I'm working to fix. But yeah, the reps are over. However, I just did another little deep stretch at the bottom to fry my pecs beyond belief. So here we are. We're back on the rings for another very stimulating set on my lats. And to be honest with you, I'm working my biceps quite significantly here as well. And the rings feel very comfortable because if you're doing chin-ups with your, your wrists supinated, aka your hands facing towards you, it feels really awkward at the bottom. But hey-ho, I've worked my biceps with the rings. It's time to work them in isolation using the preacher curl. And I'll be honest with you, this exercise is really bad for your gains. it's actually going to tear both your biceps at the same time without providing you any kind of good results. Of course, if you do it like a moron and you load up way too much weight and you always skip the bottom part of the rep, which is not what I'm doing. I am lifting heavy weight. I'm not going to lie to you. Here's about 45 kilos, I believe. No, it is exactly 45 kilos for certain, which is about 100 pounds. And a preacher curl is something, when you hit failure, you hit failure. There's no going back. But those preacher curls were the start of my next giant set, which then involves doing the pullover again. And earlier in the week, I was doing pullovers, but I was using some heavier weight, because when you lighten the load and you straighten your arms out and you go deeper, it's like two completely different exercises. They both work the same muscles, but this variation expands your rib cage even more. And yes, I have to repeat it again, their rib cage does expand, but not the bones. You have muscles between your ribs called intercostal muscles, and those get larger by doing pullovers, which makes your V-taper look absolutely insane. But hey ho, that exercise is done and I'm still shilling it. Here we have the reverse pec deck for some rear delts. And to be honest, it's very boring to talk about the rear delts. It's very boring to train the rear delts, but it's got to be done because I want results. I want my rear delts to pop. And they are doing just that. And as you can see, I look around and try to crank out a few little extra partials at the bottom to finally just smoke my rear delts. Because man, you can truly punish your rear delts and whip them like they're your slave. Because it's very safe. It's very easy on recovery. You're not gonna get fatigued from overtraining your rear delts, man. They're a very spammable muscle. I dare say, even more spammable than the lateral raises. But enough rimbling and rambling about the rear delts. It's time to get back to the preacher curls. And I get a set of 6, which you might be thinking, it's too low reps for biceps. That's too heavy. I should lighten the load and go more for the pump. I completely disagree. From my experience, the biceps respond very well to moderate reps between 6 to 12. There's no need to use pink dumbbell baby weight and do a set of 20 because the lower you go, the closer you are to actually hitting failure. For example, on this set of 6, on the very first rep, there was a lot of intensity. And every single rep that follows, it gets even more intense. Versus when you're going for, a set of 20, the first 10 reps are super easy. You have to do a lot of reps to actually get to the point where you're lifting with intensity. And by that point, you've built up all this lactic acid, you've got so much fatigue in your system. It's really not as effective as doing even 4 reps. I'm telling you. Obviously, different exercises respond better to different reps and different slots on your program, different levels of fatigue, etc., etc. But I don't want to overcomplicate anything with the nerd stuff, so I'm just going to go back to talking about what is in front of you, which is rear delts. You know what? No, I'm not going to talk about what's in front of you. It's so boring to talk about the rear delts. However, this boredom aspect brings up a very important point about the mindset. Because if you truly want amazing results in any area of life, you have to get used to doing boring, hard things that you really don't feel like doing. And for me, in this bodybuilding journey, that's doing isolation of small muscle groups. You can also train your mindset by doing very hard things that aren't boring, like 20 rep squats, but it's a whole different beast. It's two different elements of the mindset. You have to learn how to channel the beast and get fired up for something that scares you. Plus, you have to learn how to apply intensity and do the little boring stuff, the mundane things that you don't want to do. And that beautifully wraps up the philosophical rambling that I got into, inspired by this rear delts. And with that being said, I think you've seen enough footage of that boring ass exercise. So now it's time to return to the compound movements. And I choose to do some dips. I don't choose it. Obviously, I don't have any choice because if I skip, then my people die. But yeah, you saw me earlier in the week doing dips to parallel with some added weight of 35 kilos. No, 37.5 kilos. But now I'm doing it with just body weight, focused on going as deep as possible and adding a nice long pause at the bottom. And because I'm already deep into the workout and I'm, quite fatigued, I'm reduced to using only body weight, which feels quite pitiful, but hey, gotta build from somewhere, right? And eventually I will be doing double body weight, but hey, still got a long way to go for that. And obviously I'm not just gonna rest and fart around and finger my ass, go on my phone while I wait for my next set. No, I'm gonna do another exercise in between so I can train muscles that aren't involved in the dip. Even though when you go heavy enough, your back can get involved. But hey, that's not the point. Now we're doing rows on the cable. And as you can see, I'm really allowing the cable to pull me over and round my back. And let me tell you, it absolutely smoked my upper back. And yes, it's very safe to round your back on an exercise like that. Obviously, it's not a freaking deadlift, so just sit down and shut up. Here we have another step where, to be honest, I didn't even count the reps. The only thing I counted was the amount of seconds which I paused at the bottom. I went into the negative as, slow as I can, and then just go 0, 1, and then pop back up. And this takes away so many reps. If I wasn't doing it, I could have got minimum double the amount. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? Yeah, there's no evidence to support that, is there? Apart from my frickin' training log, which you wouldn't believe anyway because it's just too obscene. Anyway, enough sucking on my own farts. Let's return back to commentary on this exercise. As you can see, man, I love saying as you can see, don't I? My vest looks cool, doesn't it? Yes, it is my own design. It's my brand, if you will. It's not for sale because, quite frankly, you don't deserve it. You can't afford it. But it looks sick, doesn't it? It's like a freaking ninja wearing a balaclava, which is the whole idea. And we finish off the set with some Kelso shrugs because I just couldn't do any more full reps. The last superset of the day starts with some rope cable curls, which absolutely destroy the brachialis, the brachioradialis, and serve to just thicken up those arms. And to be honest with you, I wish they were working a lot quicker, because from this footage, I look tiny. And I really, really find it annoying that I record myself from some angles in a certain lighting and I look incredible. And then at other times like this, I look at myself and I'm like, bro, do you even lift? And all it takes is just one little shift, maybe one step to the right, and it's a whole different experience, which really, really pisses me off. Obviously, everyone already knows this, because how many freaking fitness influencers on social media are going to take these honest videos? Oh, how I look in real life. Oh, how I look in downlighting. We get it. I just, had to cope a little bit just to get it off my chest. But anyway, I love supersets that are very easy to set up, that don't require a whole bunch of moving around. However, that's not always the case. But it is this time, because all I have to do is raise the cable a little, change the attachment, turn around, and bang, I have an amazing tricep exercise. Yes. I moved to a different cable station to do the exact same exercise because I wanted to get some better lighting. And it sort of worked, but my delts are the things that are the most on display right now, which is a shame, because while I'm looking down at my biceps while doing this exercise, they look insane. They're engorged, they're thick, they're veiny. Pause. But nonetheless, you just can't tell on camera, which is a real shame. But yeah, that is done, and it's back to the triceps. One last time, just so you're aware, this exercise works your triceps. Did I mention that this exercise works your triceps? Yes, it has in fact been conclusively proven that this exercise works your triceps. And it does so in a very stretched position. It feels incredible, and it feels doubly incredible when you use these handles. They're perfectly designed to fit right in your hand. But anyway, that's it. The workout's over. So obviously we have to go to the changing rooms to do some flexing. And honestly, my flexing game needs a freaking massive upgrade, because I just don't quite get it. But hey, that's been the workout. I'll see you tomorrow.